time with One Africa TV. Share your comments on the channel. SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
President Hage Geingob had some Namibians catching feelings after his recent utterances regarding the citizens of the Pale persuasion's sudden interest in the country's politics, and particularly in seeing the end of SWAPO rule in this country.
I'm calling on all 14 regions, all the comrades, all supporters, and those who love SWAPO and Namibia to come out in full force on November 25th. To vote for the SWAPO party candidates. We have seen white people registering in big numbers. I've never seen it that way. And they said, anything else but SWAPO. I have noted that. And I will forget that. People declaring war against SWAPO. SWAPO made them to enjoy peace and unity, enjoy their comforts. Still the comforts they are enjoying all this time. To declare war against SWAPO. I heard you.
Some comments off of social media. Dominic posted, inciting racial tensions is literally a crime in Namibia, Mr. President. Natangwe said, just solve the multitude of problems that the country is faced with, old Hage. Leave whites to register and vote for whoever they want to. It is democracy. You of all people are supposed to know that. What is the fuss all about? And Kelsey wrote, if you think this is a white versus SWAPO issue, you have missed the bus once again, Mr. EVM President. This is a fed-up, disgusted, tired, patriot Namibians versus corrupt SWAPO issue. Black, white, colored, green, blue, yellow. We are all tired. After 30 years of lies, deception, looting, corruption, incompetence, and arrogance, we aren't having any of this anymore. Enough is enough. Change is going to happen peacefully through democratic processes of elections, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, Mr. Unconstitutional President. That Constitution of the Republic of Namibia that you referred to as just a piece of paper gives all of us Namibians freedom of political association and choice. Opposition parties and civil society organizations released statements condemning the president's utterances, with the PDM even approaching the office of the Ombudsman to lay a complaint.
This threat, it reminds Namibians of what happened in the early 2000s and in the 90s in Zimbabwe, where that late president were grabbing farms and so on. So when people make these reckless statements, and especially targeting a specific group of society, it's very, very, very worrisome. We'll put it clearly in our complaint, but we want to say, sir, that's a complaint that we have. And we also have, what do we think should be done? The president have on many occasions, the president of the Republic of Namibia, on many occasions reprimanded his ministers. I remember the former minister, the former deputy minister of Lands, who is now the leader of LPM, and I remember the current minister of urban and rural development and others that were, the current minister of land, that were told that they should apologize publicly and retract their comments. And that should happen. The president must come publicly, acknowledge that he violated his constitution and that he violated a sector of Namibians, apologize, retract his statement, and I think the ombudsman can also take other remedies that can give confidence of the Namibian people in the head of states and also in the Namibian administration.
The ombudsman receives and investigates complaints from a person. Nowhere in the Ombudsman Act, and it's very outdated, it's a 1990 Act, neither in the Constitution is there any provision which provide the Ombudsman with the power to investigate matters mero motu, out of own motion. I assume that duty, and in many occasions, and I can name to you which I assumed the duty and investigate the incident. The typical one which came to my mind is that the death of the 4-year-old boy in the Vanaheda police station. That was, I investigated Meramoto and I made my recommendation. So that defects in the Ombudsman Act, we have already provide the Ministry of Justice, or all three ministers. He started with the 2 former ministers, and draft a bill which is now in an advanced stage. Hopefully it will be in before the legislators at the end of this year, which will give them Ombudsman better powers and something like that. The other defect I can tell you, just to come to mind, is the Ombudsman has no express duty to promote human rights. That is also an assumed duty.
Austin Samupwa, SWAPO's executive director, had this to say.
Comrade Hadegan Gobi is well aware of what is enshrined in the Constitution of uniting Namibians together. However, on the day of the launch of the elections of the SWAPO party, the President made a fair observation about a section. He did not even say all white people. This party has many white people who support the party without any reserve. So there is a section of white people who intentionally, as he has observed, and as all of us have observed, are registering in order to punish SWAPO in a way, to vote for anything else but SWAPO. And the President was referring to that. The President is not saying people must not register to vote. No. The President is saying as we register to vote, we must not target a particular party or target a particular section of people in order to punish them. He is saying register because we have a civic duty as Namibians, whether you are black or white or from whatever tribe. He is saying register, but the targeting of the SWAPO party to dislodge it from power, like you saw it happen last year, when many opposition parties connived in order for them to dislodge the SWAPO party from power, which did not happen. That is how the President was putting the matter, and that is how SWAPO party understands it, and there is nothing untoward about what the President said on the day of the launch of the election campaign.
All I really want this season, la 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 la, is to win a brand new bakkie.
Get the season savings at OK, like liquid fruit for a low $16.99. Sunlight dishwashing liquid refill, 2 for just $33.99. And Omo washing powder for only $39.99.
Swipe your count on card to enter, and you can win a bakkie too.
OK, owners you can count on.
Namibian Marshal Ranger Sean O'Dear decided to lay a case against the President with the Namibian police following his remarks at the launch of SWAPO's election campaign for the upcoming local authority and regional council elections.
First of all, I watched the interview where the President spoke. And I watched it several times just to make sure, because he did not articulate himself very well on certain words. But I had to make sure I was listening correctly. And I heard what he had to say, and it touched me deep into my core. And this was due to, I am a Namibian-born Caucasian, or white, as the President calls it. And I felt offended, and I felt threatened by this comment that he made. And I thought to myself, but everybody's just going to shy off and keep quiet and do nothing. Everybody's murmuring and uttering things, but nobody's actually taking action. Now, I'm fully aware of the fact that the Constitution, even in an article, protects the president from criminal charges, and that we're aware of these articles. But Chapter 3, Article 10, Paragraph 2, clearly speaks up against racial or discrimination. And this is what the president breached. He has vowed, he has under oath made a pledge to uphold the Constitution. Yet he is basically in breach of contract. He has gone against the very oath that he made. Now, if I rent a house or a building as a businessman and I breach my contract, it becomes null and void, which means the contract ceases to exist. So I will be evicted, right? I did this because I need to stand up. I've been trying so hard to bring unity into this country amongst races, amongst cultures. I'm colorblind myself when it comes to people. I treat people as individuals. And the last thing I wanted was the leader of this country to bring up, in a very sensitive time, racial conflict. And this is why I was offended, and I thought to myself this morning, I thought, you know what? Even if nothing comes of the criminal case, that I personally, on behalf of myself and the whites of this country, are stepping up and saying, I do not accept. I'm not doing this on behalf of a party. I'm not doing this on behalf of my affiliation with anything. I'm doing this as a white Namibian born in this country who has invested his time. As you said, I am known in this country for my efforts to bring peace and unity to this country, to watch the leaders spoil my hard work. Because now racial conflict and racial talk is again on social media. The first thing that concerns me is the fact that even like our neighboring country, South Africa, the current conflict that is going on there, it is sad that we are in a position where colors, skin colors, are going each other. We are throwing the past. We are going into the... How are we going to build a future if we keep on doing the blame game? My children are in a multiracial school and they have multiracial friends. Should they now be enemies because of what happened in the past? Should I go to prison because my great-grandfather committed a crime many years ago, right, that I am not accountable for? We must stop the generalization and we must do the individual accountability, where the president right now should be individually accountable. And not only Caucasians, white people should stand up and protest. It should be the nation. We should all be in disgust for what's happening. How can you blame other people, people who are not accountable? People who had nothing to do with something. How do you progress? How do you go forward? By doing the blame game. Some people want to just receive. Some people actually want to work. Some people have made success. You get bad people in all colors, shapes, and sizes, as you get good people in all colors, shapes, and sizes. And if we do not unite as a nation, and what was done today, with the president making this statement, is he has affected a large portion of Namibians, okay, the business sectors of Namibians, and a lot of them are feeling helpless. And if we don't stand up and protest this, okay, I personally feel in a position like this, the president who has literally breached his vow to the country, which he made an oath to. The Constitution he stands for, is supposed to protect. I believe we, as the nation, should ask for his removal from his position. I'm not saying SWAPO must stop being the ruling party. I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe we should change the captain of the team. I have placed the case number on my social platforms so that people can know I'm serious about this. I don't take this as a joke. I'm also not doing this for attention. I don't need the attention. In fact, I'm trying so hard to build something in this country. The last thing I need is people mocking me, insulting me, and stuff like that. But I'd like to say to people out there that one of the reasons why we have bullies in school is because nobody steps up. Nobody stands up for the little guy. Okay? I'm just one of those who don't accept bullies. I will stand up, even though I'm small, I will stand up against a bully and let him know that although you can hurt me, I'm not going down alone. And I want people to start getting confidence to stand up for their rights, okay? And stop being bullied just because of position. People need to remember one thing. A president is a man like you and I, elected by the people, for the people, to serve and represent the people. He is no God, and he has no right to judge or condemn us and even threaten us. He's supposed to be the peacemaker. He's bullying us, and we don't accept it.
Wonderful.
Cam.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I really hope I touched.
Zap the germs that make kids ill with Zinfarm Junior Booster Syrup. The special new cream soda flavored immune booster for infants and children. That's not only sugar-free, but packed with vitamin C. Zinfarm Junior Booster Syrup also has double strength doses of zinc and selenium. That's important for healthy cells and good metabolism. And reduces and prevents cases of diarrhea caused by taking antibiotics. An immune booster that can do all that at a price you can afford.
Just what we need.
Zinfarm Junior Booster Syrup. Now available at all leading pharmacies countrywide. A proud Fabufarm product.
Don't be boxed in. Think outside the box this October with shows that'll set your imagination free on GoTV. It's your friendly neighbor here. Would you like to join us for some fun activities? Single, beautiful, and slaying it with your squad. It's the type of life every girl deserves. Some things aren't meant to be shared, like your man, when you upgrade to GoTV Plus or GoTV Max. Stay connected or upgrade to GoTV Plus or GoTV Max for mind-blowing shows. GoTV. Live it. Love it.
Last week, the new FNATA chairperson, Netumbo Velile Nashandi, introduced South African songstress Lira as one of Namibia's tourism ambassadors. And Namibians were just not feeling it.
FNATA is a federation of Namibian tourism associations, and our mandate includes promoting and acting as the voice for the tourism sector to the Namibian government, and also to assist in marketing efforts that will be of benefit to our members and the Namibian economy at large. Now, I understand there's been a lot of backlash with regards to our recent appointment of Lira, the South African multi-award-winning artist, as our first TAI, which stands for Travel Ambassador Initiative. So, how does the tourism sector work, right? We operate based on our source markets. South Africa is one of our biggest source markets. If we have to look at stats, I would like to point you to the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism's 2019 statistics arrival report, where they clearly state that 79.1% of arrivals to Namibia in 2019 are from the African continent. And from that 79.1%, we have Angola, South Africa, and Zambia respectively that are our biggest source markets for the Namibian tourism space. Now, our objective, because we are operating in these unprecedented times and people are losing their livelihoods day by day, businesses in the tourism space are shutting down. People have had no income. Can you imagine not having had an income for the past 10 to 11 months? We cannot sit back and wait for somebody else or keep knocking on government's door to assist us to market Namibia further as a destination. So we took the initiative, think outside the box, and thought, why not use lira to attract our source market in South Africa, because that's how brand influencers function. Nobody in South Africa will really understand the plethora of beauty and experiences that the Namibian landscape has unless they're hearing it from one of their own. Lira's fans and followers include young black professionals, young black celebrities, and we're trying to attract that market to travel to Namibia during this COVID time, because as we know, Europe may be facing a second wave. I'm certain some countries are in the process of going through their second major lockdowns. So we need to find innovative strategies to get tourists back into Namibia. And on another note, the Namibian domestic market does not support tourism enough to sustain the tourism economy. That's why we're looking to using Namibian and foreign influencers to attract guests from outside Namibia. So when we get to the point of looking for a Namibian influencer, I'm sure we'll inform everybody when it's time, but that specific Namibian influencer will have to have a following in our specific target market. So the first of this initiative is focusing on South Africa, and that is why we have selected Lira. She is a fantastic ambassador for Namibia.
We've been through so much as a country, and with the recent arrests of youths demonstrating against sexual gender-based violence, holistic healer Melissa Mukaiwa and her team decided to offer free yoga and meditation to those who participated in the march.
Protests against gender-based violence for years, you know. But this one in particular was different and heartbreaking because I realized that there's been a shift, you know. At some point I was part of that demographic that was, you know, really on the front lines, but time passes and you get older, and I realized just how young these people were that were protesting, and it really made me feel upset that we were still doing this, and it really made me feel in a way responsible. And I was like, well, you know, have I really done everything that I can do to offer support to really facilitate the realization of objective? And, you know, seeing those young people there in so much pain and anguish, like obviously the question then becomes, well, what can I do? How can I contribute? And really working on one's mental, emotional state and capacity, and making sure that they don't re-traumatize themselves through fighting against this, you know, collective trauma in our country. That's something real and tangible that we can do. So we said we have to do something, and so now we have. Well, what we've done is we've decided to offer free classes to the activists who are at the protests for the full month of October. So they can come, they just come, and obviously because of COVID and social distancing, we do have to control numbers. So they do have to sign up online before they come, but they can come. They just need to show us a picture of them at the protests, because it is something I'm also personally passionate about, is the fact that digital activism is important, but it's something else to be there on the front lines. Like, I'm a big doer. I believe in doers. I don't believe in just feeling all the feelings and doing nothing. So this is really for those people who are showing up in some way tangibly. So they need to show us a picture of them at the protest, and then they come to class, and it's a safe space for them to be held. There's the class that happens, which is healing in and of itself, but also beyond that, it's the conversations that happen afterwards, to make sure that they as individuals are getting interventions that are going to support their healing, because it's very different for every person.
And with that, it's a wrap. Stay woke with It's a Wrap by following us on our social media pages. It's a Wrap Nam on Insta, It's a Wrap Namibia on YouTube, and It's a Wrap with Erica Gebhardt on Facebook.
Prevention is important. Help prevent the spread of illness and keep yourself and others well. Hand washing is one of the most effective ways of preventing the spread of germs. Wash your hands regularly with soap and hot water, scrubbing your hands thoroughly for at least 20 seconds. Hand sanitizers can be used but are not recommended as a substitute for hand washing. Use sanitizers in addition to hand washing or in a situation where soap and water are not available. To avoid spreading germs, limit sharing of personal items such as utensils, cups, and dishes. Your skin acts as a barrier to germs, but your eyes, nose, and mouth are more vulnerable. Wash your hands thoroughly before touching your face, eating, or drinking. Avoid physical contact with others, including handshakes, fist bumps, high fives, hugs, and kisses. Social distancing is deliberately increasing the physical space between people to avoid spreading germs. While regulations may vary by country or area, the best guideline for social distancing is to maintain a distance of 6 feet from others. Germs can travel through the air from one person to another. If you sneeze or cough, do so into a tissue or the inside of your elbow to prevent the spread of germs. Avoid contact with ill individuals and insist they isolate themselves until they have recovered and are symptom-free. Clean and sanitize frequently touched common surfaces and high-traffic areas in your home and workplace several times a day. Share these guidelines with others and help prevent the spread of illness and maintain a healthy environment. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure.
Yeah, we kill each other because of money. Money is not evil, people are evil. Gun don't shoot people, people shoot people.
So hard, I'm pushing forward. Even if life is so hard, my hands is pure. Kompa asin rugane ni chipoke, kazazurange ntani nilia. Kompa asin rugane ni chipoke, kazazurange ntani nilia. Iwahaba kai mona roba kweni, kazazuyoke ntani ngoja. Chochi, Ndi, Kukara Inea Naninye, Duchire Ninye Hompa. Let's fear the law, let's respect one another. Hoka Senenga Kufatera Koko and 220 Hovengo Sitanta. Let's fear the law, let's respect one another.